Hey guys, it's Justin again with another Gundam review. This is going to be a review of the Master Grade 1 to 100 scale Gundam High New version Katoki, or Verka for short. This was brought to you, or this is brought to you by my sponsor over at the Animetropolis. They have really good prices for Gunpla kits, so you should go check them out. And let's get into this thing. Like I've said before, I wasn't really blown away by the high new design when this kit first got announced. Nobody was surprised at all when this thing got announced, but I was actually surprised that they changed as much with between the new and the high new as they did. So I'm really glad that most of this is new, as far as like the legs and the arms. But I figured the chest and the waist and stuff like that would roughly be about the same. There's not too much difference between this and the high or the regular new. So I figured most of the core would be the same, but the legs are very different. Also, there's no psycho frame deal with this, so all that transformation stuff is gone. Now, another gripe that kind of turned me off of this kit initially. It's actually grown on me quite much since I've snapped this together, is I was really kind of disappointed to see the kit molded in purple. I'm used to seeing the high new done in blue, like a dark blue or not really a dark blue, but a medium blue or a light blue. And the purple kind of threw me when I first looked at the design, but like I said, it's grown on me very much, and I actually really like it. So, for the first part of the review, we're going to do articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so you don't get a whole lot of rotation with this actually, because the collar is incredibly tall and the head is really kind of narrow. So you're going to get left and right, a little bit up and down, stuff like that. So not the best articulation for a master grade, but it does good enough that you're going to get some cool looking poses out of it. You're going to be able to look into certain directions and stuff. The arms will go out pretty far. There's a really strange complicated joint inside the chest and the shoulder that kind of brings this whole shoulder joint out. I guess that is also a good point to touch on, is that the arm can go all over the place. It looks a little funky sometimes doing some of that stuff, but it works. You get a full 360 under the shoulder. You get a double bend at the elbow, not quite 180 because of the shoulders, but you can get pretty close. The shoulders themselves can flip up, and then you can also flip this up, pull these down, and pull this out just a little bit for like a, I don't know what you'd call it, some sort of like open hatch / transformation type gimmick. Nothing too snazzy, but then these can fold up and down just a little bit, so that's really neat. Each of the arms has a compartment in it. This one, you slide this piece open and slide this open, and you can put a beam saber inside the forearm. The other one, you flip it, you pull this out, you flip this down, and then you slide this out, and you get like a chain gun, kind of like the Alex, and it locks in there pretty good when it's not in use, so I really like that. Now the cockpit, oh god, didn't expect that to happen. It's like the Kodo curse all over again. And this is in a Kodo kit. Well, this kind of shows one of the issues with the kit. It's a little bit back heavy because of the wings, but there's things that are included to kind of alleviate that a little bit. Not a lot, but it helps, because this kit doesn't look great standing, so you get a base with it. But if you put the fuel tank straight down, it kind of helps balance it out. The chest vents can slide forward, I don't think that really serves any kind of purpose or is for part of the transformation or anything. I just think it's there. The cockpit slides forward, maybe, and opens. You can open it up like that. That looks pretty good. If it doesn't fall apart. Oh, okay, we're just going to leave this off for now. The back skirts are on ball joints. They move up and down. The flaps open on the top as well as the bottom. And they have tons of vents and stuff on the inside. Really cool looking. The side skirts are also on ball joints. They wiggle around. They almost do a full 360, but the other skirts kind of get in the way a little bit. So you want to be careful when you're moving them around. And the front skirts, again, on ball joints. So they wiggle around and move out of the way and stuff like that. There's also this little hinge here. I believe that is for the heavy weapons system. So you can kind of hinge the armor on. The legs will move forward about that far, backward about that far. If we move the arm out of the way, out that far. They spin at the hip. They have a really nice double bend. There's an armor split here at the knee, as well as some piston stuff, which I'm a sucker for. I forgot to touch on the waist. Not crazy articulated, but you get a little bit of flex. The ankles are very interesting. They're actually like hip joints, if you will. They kind of they're like spheres, so like they spin around here, and then they also have like a whole like mechanism in there, and they give you a really good flex and a really good bend. The toe moves as well. They can spin, they can pivot, they do it all really. And then on the bottom of the feet, you can flip all these things down here like this. If I can get this other one. Maybe. Well, this one's flipped down, so you can kind of lock it so it like grabs onto the ground. Really cool feature. The GPO1 Zephranthes Real Grade did that, and I really liked it. I didn't really use it or anything, but it looked cool. And you know, it's always nice to have more moving parts. Let's see if I can get this to stay back on here. It's funny how when I start doing a review, everything wants to fall apart. As far as accessories for this kit, you actually get a pretty decent selection of weapons and things of that nature. Oh, I actually forgot to touch on one other thing for articulation. The legs. The legs on the back will open up here. There's like little doors here. And then there's a thing that flips up like that. You can also flip up the leg vent and reveal thrusters and stuff in the back here. Those look really cool. Now, oh, I just can't win. I don't think it's going to be my day. But most of the bulk in this kit is like right here, so can't stress that enough. I guess I'm going to have to glue that in when I get to when I paint this thing. There we go. I heard a click, so that should help. The hips are also not the strongest. I believe that's because of the new plastic frame. But oh, good enough. There we go. Okay, now as far as accessories are concerned, you get a shield. It's incredibly plain. I'm going to paint this, I believe, in the same style as the old school Hi-Nu, rather than using the gradient type deal that that a lot of people do, or the spot, which looks really ugly to me. I'm just going to do like the dagger type pattern, I guess, that goes to the middle. But that pegs into the back side of either arm, and it's actually got a little double hinge here, so you can spin it around this side, you can spin it around this side, and bends here, so you can plug it straight into the back and you can flex it and put it so it's more comfortable depending on where you're at. You get a bazooka, which folds and unfolds. It's not the smoothest thing in the world, but it looks nice. It's molded in lots of nice colors. It's very nicely color separated. There's a gray, there's a white, and there's a super light gray up here. You can plug that into the backpack right over here. It's a lot of a hassle, so I'm not going to do it. But the handle folds down, and it looks really nice. And then you get the, I believe this is a beam rifle. I think this thing is really ugly. There's no moving parts on it, but it's nicely color separated. You get the, obviously it's a 3.0 style, so you get the peg for the manipulators. But, you know, again, it looks nice as far as color separation and things like that are concerned. And the last bit of articulation on this kit is going to be on the back. The funnels all move and stick out and do things like that. The fuel tanks also move. The tail stabilizer moves up and down. It's weird that it gives you resistance going down, but going up it just goes. I think that might actually be loose. Yeah. Anyway. But then you get one of the best things that ever graced this kit. You get a display base for it. Now the display base is kind of weird for this. It doesn't really work the same way as most action bases do, where it'll plug into the crotch. It actually plugs in right here underneath the where the backpack would plug in. You make sure that's all plugged in right there. You just kind of hang him basically from his back, and then you, I don't like the way this is attached. It's just like, I don't know, it's weird. And I dropped it, and everything exploded. Oh, aren't my reviews the best? And one of my funnels came off. So, that's what I get for talking smack. I don't know which side's which. There we go. I wish they'd put a little more work into the backpack. It's given me a lot of problems. It's not a bad backpack. There's definitely worse out there, but you know, as far as weight, like with something that carries this much weight on it, they should have put some more pegs and stuff instead of this little clip, and, you know, hoping for the best. But once you get it up in the air, it's not as bad. So if I can plug the stupid tail stabilizer in and get the backpack back on. There we go. Once you get him airborne, you bend his feet down. There you go. Get him a slightly cooler looking pose, and he looks a lot better. Go ahead and put this in his hand so you have a little something to look at. And again, 3.0 style manipulators, they're not my favorite, but they're not terrible. Just peg that in, maybe. And it wants to fight me, like everything else on this kit right now. There we go. And you can wrap his fingers around the handle, and he'll probably hold on to it if the pegs are connected properly, which I don't believe they are. Whatever. Good enough for now. And the wrist strap comes out, of course. There. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna go without weapons. The last feature of this kit is the fin funnels. Now, the Hi-Nu comes with a special base. You can basically unplug the fin funnels. I'm going to do 2 because doing all of them would be a nightmare. But you get a bunch of these little things. It's a joint here, a joint here, a joint here. This one's like a ball joint. And you just kind of pose them around how you want them. And you can attach that to the back of the base. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I got this on backwards. Maybe that's the problem. Anyway, there we go. That is actually a lot better. You unfold your fin funnel like so, and you flip them around like that, and you want to make sure that this piece is sticking straight back. And it kind of locks it a little bit. Wow, I missed a nub. And it lets you plug it into the base, like so, maybe. Come on. This is a nightmare. There. And the fin funnel will appear as though it's flying. And we'll do one more just for demonstration purposes. I think I got these backwards again. Yep. Now, one of the issues I have encountered is that the fin funnels can sometimes be a little loose. These ones are actually cooperating with me, which is strange. But again, getting them to go into position and getting them to look decent is not difficult at all. Kit is phenomenal. The build was really fun. Obvious downsides are the weight. It has a really hard time standing on its own. I just snapped this together not that long ago. It's maybe stood on its own 2 or 3 times, and the hip joints are already starting to loosen up on me a little bit. Once I paint it, I'm sure that problem will sort of alleviate itself a little bit. I don't expect it to fix it, but it'll help. The back and head connection aren't the greatest, I don't think. As far as articulation, it's superb. The build was a blast. There's some very subtle color separation. There's, I believe, 3 shades of white. There's a gray. There's a couple of different dark grays for the frame. And then there's the purple, some yellow, and I believe there's some clear green? Yes, just a little bit of clear green. And it makes a really fantastic looking kit. Now, like I said, downsides you're going to get is the weight issues, but that comes with the base, and this is, again, a space unit, so it looks better flying anyway. There's some small pieces, as you can see here on the arm, if I can zoom in on that little round thing right there. There's some that go on the chest and other places. I'm glad that they molded them separately instead of molding them in. But the ones on the chest don't have anything to plug into. They just kind of float freely. So if you're going to do anything with those, you're going to have to put them in last or later on. And that kind of annoyed me a little bit. There was one other thing I had issues with. I don't remember. It wasn't anything major. But as far as accessories and stuff are concerned, you get a full action base. You get a bazooka, you get a beam rifle, you get a shield, you get 6 funnels with lots and lots and lots of display and play options for this thing. You get a gorgeous mobile suit, and it retails for, I think, what, 7,000 yen. Yes, 7,000 yen. So if you pick this up at the animetropolis, you get this for $70 before shipping, and that's pretty good considering. Most retailers, I think, sell it for around about 80, 90. I've seen, and it's a really cool display piece, even just out of box. And if you do paint, it comes with water slides, so you don't have to go out and look for an aftermarket set or trim stickers or anything crazy like that. So that's my review. I definitely recommend this guy. I had an absolute blast building him. As far as paint's concerned, I know people are going to ask when I'm going to paint this. It's not going to be anytime soon. I have a lot of projects on the bench right now that I need to wrap up before I even think about painting this guy. But when I do plan, I have some ideas floating around in my head. I think I'm going to try and do something a little different with this guy. So we'll get into that when I do start painting this. But for now, he's going to go in the box and relax, I suppose. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review, and hopefully you guys go check out the Animetropolis. They're really cool guys over there. Really quick service and really good prices. And the more you shop there, the more likely they are to bulk up their selection. So go support those guys. And I will see you guys with the next video. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Later.